There's a lot of my friends or former friends that would want to be around me all the time and be that entourage, but I would never do that to people I love. I'm never. I'm going to try to support you to be the best that you can be, even though you could check out and go, yeah, I want to hang out and I want to go. Yeah, that's intoxicating to somebody who's not in the industry. But I'd be an asshole to let a friend of mine be in my shadow.
What's up, my friends? It's time. Welcome to part 2 of my interview with Michael Jai White. In this piece, we uncover what, in my eyes, makes Michael such the rare type of person that I truly admire, respect, and appreciate. I don't think it's common to see successful actors in Hollywood who lead their lives with integrity and choosing to remain authentic within themselves. It must be so easy to be swayed or pulled in one direction or another due to the appeal of fame, fortune, or position. And yet Michael is a man who has chosen his integrity over promises of more fame.
I'm not going to sacrifice any of my integrity for this business, and I never did.
In this video, we also get to see more of the value that Michael places on his relationship with his loved ones.
The goal should be, being a balanced person and
Thank you.
and having that family, that person. It's like, what is it to gain something you can't share it with people you love?
I agree. Stick around until the end of this. I have a pretty cool announcement about the next event that I'll be heading to at the beginning of March. There could be an opportunity to sit down with some more big names, so I'll be curious for you to share who you'd like to see me sit down with. One, you kind of talked about that inner work that you had to do in order to earn the right to meet and keep your lovely wife. And then beyond that, there's practices that you have to maintain your discipline with training in your martial arts. There's practices, your own development, your own growth. There's practices that you maintain in order to continue to cultivate that. What does that look like for you?
Well, I mean, with me, like my relationship, I knew that there was work that I needed to do because just honestly, like I just say, like, well, she was a better person than me. That's just the truth of the matter. I still let myself be, I was a little compromised. I wasn't as truthful. I couldn't hide from the truth that, there was work to be done. And if I didn't do that work, I would sabotage everything. I knew that would happen. And since, I've gone the way of being almost too honest at times to where, then the rest of my life, I don't know if you're going to call it superstitious or not, I just got to a place where I wouldn't lie by default.
Yeah.
And I held on to those principles. Of course, in Hollywood, you'll say, hey, if you lie about this and you do this, then you might get here. You might gain something. But I just said no. No. I don't care if this person could push my career up to here. I'm going to be honest. I don't like that person. I'm not going to do that.
I'm not
going to sacrifice any of my integrity for this business, and I never did.
Yeah.
And so, you call it superstitious or whatever, but I started gaining ground and accomplishing what I wanted to, and then those people who basically dangled the fame and fortune in front of me and say, if you come to this side or whatever, well, those people respect the hell out of me because they know I'm not that person. And so my word, and when I'm producing, so even those people who I didn't want to go, they respect me, and then they want to be in league with somebody that they can trust. So it's not, when people say you have to play the game. It's not true.
I never agreed with that either, man.
It's absolutely not true. You got to give something up for. No, it's not true.
How about authenticity? Authentically being yourself.
Yeah.
and just who you are. That's kind of what I hear.
That's
It's like you
that.
made that choice.
That is why I believe I have a fan base, because I play a character. You believe that character. I say something, people may believe it because some people like when a lot of people can read when someone's authentic or not. And it's actually like cheating because I don't have to worry about what I'm saying, and I can be honest
Just
about
be you,
something.
man.
And if you're dishonest, that takes a lot of, oh my God, it takes a lot
It
of
takes
work. You
work,
have to
right?
remember your lies and all. Like I've been there before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that up. I wouldn't have the life I have if I kept going that route. So
It's a lot easier.
it's simple.
Nothing to figure out, right?
Nothing to
Just be
figure
you.
out. I don't have any bullshit friendships.
Yeah, yeah.
My friends are real. I'll do anything for them. They'll do anything for me. And you know, that's something that's priceless, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of very rich people who I feel sorry for because they don't have that love in their life, that genuine, authentic love. Because maybe they focused on becoming, reaching a certain plateau, and that became the goal.
Playing that game or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but the goal should be, being a balanced person and
Thank you.
having that family, that person. It's like, what is it to gain something when you can't share it with people you love?
I agree.
So it's no real shortcut, is
No.
what I'm saying. It's no real shortcut. That's where you start hearing about famous people or people who are very rich, doing themselves in
Yeah.
because
Right.
they're not happy.
That's right.
Because they didn't fix the problem in the first place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, they just, if you don't make that conscious choice or do the work necessary to find you, who are you, so that you can actually be that, then, like you said, it's so much work to constantly be this facade and this mask and play
Yeah.
this game and follow these lies. And, and what's at the end of the road?
And then if you get in this industry, there's so many people who are not honest with you anymore. Because you provide something for them. You provide a glimpse into a world that they didn't know about. There's a lot of my friends or former friends that would want to be around me all the time and be that entourage. But I would never do that to people I love. I'm going to try to support you to be the best that you can be, even though you could check out and go, yeah, I want to hang out, and I want to go. Yeah, that's intoxicating to somebody who's not in the industry. But I'd be an asshole to let a friend of mine be in my shadow and do that. That happens a lot, but that's not good for them. So it's
Good for you, man.
and then what happens is then everybody tells you like anything that they think that you want to hear.
Yep. That's right.
And it's painful because I have friends that I feel like I always say I lost my own mom to this industry, and it's not about what I view as valuable in this industry. It's about what they view as valuable. My own mom was so happy that she had a son that was in Essence magazine that there was nothing I could tell her that would turn her away from me.
Mm.
I was joking, but I told my mother something about, I was talking to her one time and I was talking about, every now and then, I go out and I pick up hitchhikers and I know nobody's going to look for them and I just bury them under my and I just made it crazier and crazier. And my mom was just like, that's good. And I'm like, and then I'm,
You're her son, you can't do any wrong.
And I'm like, this woman's not listening to me.
Oh.
And there's nothing I could say that she's not going to agree with because but you go, wow, you expect people to keep you grounded, but those people, what you're doing is so beyond what they thought.
Sure, yeah.
That I have friends that would just,
That's a challenge.
I could contradict myself and they'll agree both times. And I'm like,
It's tough, man.
not even listening to me. But that's them.
Yeah, yeah.
But so it can be a lonely place if you are still connected to reality.
Hmm.
So it's not about you losing who you are. I've been the same guy my whole life.
Yeah.
You
Good
know?
for you.
So, I didn't dislike me in the first place, so why change?
Hmm.
And I like simple things. I like being around, that's why I'm here. Simple reason I'm here is that's my friend. That's my real friend right there. And, I'm going to support.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
that
got
simple.
that, man.
And I keep keeping things simple, even though the world tries to make it seem like it's,
Get
oh,
that,
you're
man.
bigger than life or whatever. No, I'm Mike.
Yeah, yeah. So many themes in this interview with Michael that I truly appreciate. And it's these very themes that make Michael Jai White such an admirable and inspiring man in my eyes. I'm not intimately familiar with Hollywood, and I would imagine that integrity is not something that is in abundance. Just as Michael spoke to, it's an industry where it's not uncommon to lie or manipulate in order to elevate your career or put yourself in a favorable position. Just think of the many facets of our lives where the common philosophy is to simply play the game. And playing the game is definitely not a philosophy that I personally agree with. Even more so in my more recent years, once I made more of a conscious choice to authentically and unapologetically be myself. So to see a man of such stature as Michael Jai White in an industry that breeds inauthenticity, to see him make the choice to not sacrifice his own integrity to get ahead, doesn't that tell you all you need to know about the man?
Even though the world tries to make it seem like it's,
Get
oh,
that,
you're
man.
bigger than life or whatever. No, I'm Mike.
Yeah, yeah. I get
Yeah.
that, man. And maybe even more than the appreciation that I have for his integrity in the face of it all is the value that he puts on his relationships. In part one of my interview with Michael Jai White, which you can check out up here, I'll also attach it at the end of this. In that video, I speak with Michael about his relationship with his wife. He talked about how he had to earn the right to have the relationship that he does, and how he didn't even know it was possible to reach the level of love and partnership that he has. And let me tell you this, every time I saw Michael and his wife Gillian together in the hotel, they were close, holding hands, and you could feel the bond and energy that they shared with each other. It was tangible and it was genuine. My good friend Viking Samurai spoke to the same dynamic in his video with Michael, and to highlight this evidence even more, I wanted to also share this clip that Viking Samurai sent me of Josh Barnett speaking about Michael's relationship with Gillian.
Michael Jai White and Gillian. I look at them and I think this is proof that this is a thing that is creatable. You can have a beautiful, amazing family and have a great relationship, and you can continue to create and make great things, and you can really have it all.
Speaking of Viking Samurai, definitely go check out his part 1 and part 2 of his own exclusive interview with Michael. If you're a fan of Michael Jai White, martial arts, action movies, and more, you do want to go check out those interviews. On a personal note, you don't want to miss Viking Samurai giving me a thoughtful shout out and a heartfelt acknowledgement, which definitely hit home. You know, Viking Samurai and I have known each other for over 20 years, and I put him in the same vein as Michael as a man that I truly admire, respect, and appreciate, and it's rare for me to be able to say that. If all goes to plan, you will actually see David, aka Viking Samurai, and his brother, who is also my best friend, as two of the groomsmen in my Icelandic wedding next year. So props to him, and do go check out his channel. Finally, so where am I going to be in just a couple weeks? I will be attending the Arnold Sports Festival in Columbus, Ohio, one of the premier bodybuilding and strongman events in the world. I was generously invited by Sir Dr. Robert Goldman, who is an extremely impressive human being with an outlandish number of accomplishments. I also did have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Bob at the same event as Michael Jai White, and I will be posting videos of that interview in the next couple weeks. Trust me, you're going to be extremely impressed by this man if you don't know who he is, so stay tuned for those videos coming up. Who do you want me to interview at the Arnold Sports Festival? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, it would be pretty awesome to get Arnold, right? Although, quick trivia about me, Arnold has spotted me on my bench press once in my lifetime. So I'll just leave that right there. And as always, live on purpose. I'll see you soon.